Good afternoon, and thank you again for clicking on my channel. I'm Roman, and this is Roman's Reviews. So today we are going to go over The Housemaid, which is described to be an erotic thriller, psychological drama, psychological thriller, and disclosed to be a struggling woman is happy to start over as a housemaid for an affluent elite couple. Um, this is going to be a spoiler review, okay? Just an FYI, okay? All right, so we have Sydney Sweeney, who is basically, well, she's one of the stars, but I guess she is the star of this film. She plays Millie. Amanda Seyfried uh, plays Nina Winchester. Married to Andrew Winchester, who is played by Brandon Sklenar. Um, then you have Michael Moron. Not really sure how to pronounce that. He plays Enzo, the little girl who is um, Nina's daughter. She's Cece, who is played by Indina L. Now, a lot of these people I don't know, aside from obviously Amanda and Sydney. All right, so, oh, and by the way, it's directed by Paul Feig, however, whatever. He's actually a pretty good director. Um, uh, so going in, it starts off Sydney's character, Nina. Um, she's driving up to the Winchesters' house. She has an interview with Mrs. Winchester, and I'm sorry, not Nina. That's Millie. Millie, and then Nina is Winchester. Sorry, I get the names confused. Anyway, so Millie drives up to the house. She has an interview with Nina. Um, and you don't know, aside from it just going into the movie as it unfolds, and you know, the obvious question, which I think that would be an obvious question, is like, why do you want to be a housemaid? I don't know. I think that is just an obvious question. And that is the question that she asked. And then, of course, she has this overqualified resume, saying, like, you're so overqualified. You could be anything. Why do you want to be a housemaid? She's like, well, I just felt like it just fell into my lap. And, I love families, love kids, and I just, um, I just feel like it could be something good for me. When the real reason is she's actually just looking for a job because she just recently got out of prison. Again, spoiler review. She killed somebody when she was in high school. Was it high school or college? One of them. I think it was college. Um, and then, so now she's on parole. And of course, the thing like, you must find a steady job with a steady paycheck and somewhere to live. Obviously, right? So, with all that being disclosed, Nina takes a chance on her and says, okay, when can you start? So basically, she starts immediately, pretty much the next day. And it pretty much takes a turn. And then when you think it's gonna go one way, it goes another way, you know? So I think in a sense, you end up thinking Nina, who again is played by Amanda, is the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs chick, out to get Millie, when really, and again, spoiler, it's the husband. The husband is the one that is deranged, is psycho, and fucking just nuts. And you would never had seen that coming, which I love, by the way. I love a movie where it's not predictable. Okay, I'm so sick of, like, I don't know, maybe the first 10 minutes you're like, I got this shit figured out, and then you do. You got to figure it out. You're like, but how did you? It's right there. It's right there, right? So, the husband, basically he has his whole life together, which, by the way, again, it unfolds towards the end that he has a great job, he has this great house, he has money. When really he fell into all of that. His father gave him that job. He comes from money, so he never had to work for anything in his life, which I'm pretty sure anybody would agree with this. Don't you just hate people like that? Like, no, if you've never had to work for anything in your whole entire life, you don't know what it's like to. It's almost like it's a gift in a way, right? Like, I'm poor. I grew up poor. And we were always so grateful for anything, and maybe even everything that we got, that we received. And it just makes it more um worthy in a way that you did this for yourself. You went out, set out, and said, and whatever it may be, just, I don't know, you could have just said, I'm going to get a job, and you got it. You did it. You did that for yourself. When you have all these other people, like the fucking Kardashians, who get on my nerves, by the way, I will say, even though I do not like them whatsoever, but I hate to say it, but they do know how to sell some shit. Like the Skims. The fuck? Who cares? They did. I mean, they do it. They get it. They done it. I digress. Anyway, back to the movie. Um, yeah. So he never had to really work for anything for his whole life. He got everything handed to him. And while this is going on, um, the little girl who is Nina's daughter, I think it's pretty early in the movie, but she says, okay, so Millie asks her, it's either for dinner or something, and she says, would you like uh, milk or juice or water? Like, what would you like to drink? She's like, I would like juice, but I would like it in a clean glass. This glass is dirty. At first, you're like, what a snobby little cunt bitch, right? Um, and so Millie's just like, well, I got this glass from the dishwasher. It's clean. She's like, if I'm gonna drink juice, it's gotta be from a clean glass. So she goes and gets her a clean glass. Then, basically says actions has consequences. It just seemed kind of random. She heard that. Maybe she well, I'm thinking maybe she heard it from her mother. I'm like, wow. Maybe she's not really a cunt, but she's hearing this from her mother. And you're like, and you're watching this movie, and then even like these hags that she hangs out with, like they're like the PTA moms who really don't do anything. Um, they're like other people who I dislike in life is people who just talk so much shit about you behind your back, right? Like they would never have the nerve to tell you to your face, but they're gonna talk about you. He's like, oh yeah, like don't you just feel so sorry for her daughter? And like, what about her husband? Oh my god, he's such a saint for taking them both in. Like, yeah, she's been in the nut house. So Millie's overhearing this and like, oh my god, like I think Millie already knows like the bitch is crazy, but now she's hearing it from other people. It's like, whoa. Like, what did I sign up for, right? So then, again, things unfold. Um she eventually asks Nina, that is. Nina asked Millie, hey, look, it's like she apologizes, says things nice, and then it's like she's bipolar, right? Then she's like, I never asked you to do any of this for me. Now we'd have this, and I don't even know where you got this from. So one of these incidents was like, okay, Millie, could you do me a favor and get tickets for this Broadway show? His name's drawing a blank. Sorry. I want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Andrew. Duh. I want to make sure Andrew has a great weekend, and Andrew's been wanting to see this show. So I think it'd be like the perfect weekend, us to get away. Um, um, Cece can go stay at a friend's house, and so like Andrew and I can go see the show, get a hotel room, and then if like you can have the weekend off yourself. So Millie gets these great tickets, gets a hotel room as asked, and then here comes Nina. What is this? What is this? She's like, it's the tickets that you asked for. I never asked you to get tickets. And now these tickets are going to be unrefundable. And now it's going to come out of your check. She's like, I can't afford that. That sounds like a you problem, doesn't it? So then here comes Andrew again, looking, like the old saying, like the grass isn't always greener on the other side. This is one of those type situations, because everything seems perfect on the outside, right? Andrew's like, don't worry about it, Millie. We'll take care of it. She's not gonna take it out of your paycheck. Don't worry. So then they eventually the tickets are unrefundable so who goes and sees it? Andrew and Millie go. I'm sure you can guess what happens without me even having to say it. I mean, because there is some very strong sexual tension between them two, so it's obvious, right? So Millie's getting threatening text from Nina, and Andrew's like, don't worry about it. We'll get home and everything will be fine. Anyway, the next day comes and um, Nina kind of like throws a bomb uh, and says, she's coming off sweet, right? She's so sweet. She's like, so, I really wanted to apologize for my actions the other day. This weekend that I did get away it was so much needed. Um, I sometimes I just say things and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, basically, and uh, so it just seemed like everything's cool, and then all of a sudden she says, Millie, um, were you able to do all these things without your parole officer not having to call you?" She's like really, like I just. She's like, "What? Oh, you didn't think I knew? Oh, I knew you were in prison. You didn't think I was that stupid, did you?" So now that's out of the bag. The cat is out of the bag, and she's like, "Uh oh." And then Andrew's like, she's like, "Oh, Andrew, Millie didn't tell you?" Millie, stuff like that. So, um, oh, and yes, I saw this, showing the Broadway bill of the show they seen. It's like, so I know you went and seen the show, and I know you fucked her too, Andrew. Um, so all that happened, and then Andrew's like, "I want you out of my house. I can't take in much more of your shit." And you just think like, "Oh my god, wow!" Like he's had enough too. Like finally, wow, So, of course, she throws a fight, to like, all right, but she leaves, and a little slap in the face to Millie before she heads out, and then Andrew and Millie start to, have a little rendezvous in the house, and look like things are great, and Millie, as far as like a kind gesture, was about to make breakfast in bed. So Andrew's mother, who comes from a long line of Winchesters and had these antique um, china. Like the china is just so old; it goes back, so many like centuries, right? And so she thought it would be a nice, kind gesture to put the food on the china and bring it up, and she sees the um, what do you call him? The landscaper outside just glaring through the door, and so it freaked her out. So then she drops the china on the floor, and of course it breaks. So Andrew comes down and is like, really just looking at the glass without even like really asking questions. Like, oh my god, what happened? And he's just staring. Like, she's like, what happened? Well, I was trying to do a nice thing and make breakfast in bed, and then he scared me, and that's how I dropped the china. I'm so sorry. At first it makes it seem like, oh, it's okay. It's just china, right? I mean, what are you gonna do about it, right? Um, so she picks it up because he said, "Oh, I know somebody that can restore it." So she does. She picks it up and puts it in like a Ziploc baggie. Um, and then he comes down and says, "So you didn't wash it before putting it into the Ziploc bag?" Like she's like, "No, I didn't want to cut myself." I'm like, okay. So they go upstairs and, you know, do it again. She wakes up. He must have drugged her. And waking up, like everything's gone out of the room. She can't get out of the door. He locked her on the inside, so she can't get out. And then so many things start to unfold. And now that we know now that Andrew is fucking psychotic, and he must have gotten that from his own mother, because she even said at the end, actions has consequences. I'm like, somebody need to get rid of that bitch, right? But anyway, long story short, without even to be too much of a spoiler, even though I said this is a spoiler review, um, the girls do a 180 on him, and Millie makes it look like an accident, but she kind of like pushes him off of the stairwell, like the banister. It's a long flight of stairs, and just like hits his head and everything, broke some bones and all that kind of shit, and so he's dead. And yeah, so Nina helped Millie, like, gave her some money so that she can, try to live a normal life and whatnot. And so at the end, um, Nina suggested her to another family or wife, and you could tell that she's been abused by her own husband. It says, yeah, you came like highly recommended by Nina. So do you think you can help? And of course, she's like, when do you need me? And then the credits roll up. But yeah, so I thought it was a pretty twisty, great film, because like I said, you would not know that something was going to happen until it happened. Like I said, you're like, oh, it's going to make a right. Well, it makes a left. And yeah, so overall, I think out of 10, I might give it an 8. I think I give it a solid 8. Um, there were, I don't know. Again, if I nitpicking on some things, there's a few things where I'm just like, really, this is what we're gonna do. But overall, I thought the film was great acting. Amanda, like always, I feel like she's a great actress in general. She always knocks it out of a park with a solid performance. Sydney, I don't know, she's kind of generic. She's just kind of, I mean, I think in like Euphoria, she's okay, but again, if I'm nitpicking, and I'm just saying this because of who our president is, she's she's a MAGA, and I don't know. I just can't fuck with those types of people, and I don't know. I wish somebody else was in that part aside from her, but other than that, it was a solid film. Um, if I didn't have anything else to watch and wanted to watch it again, I'd probably watch it again. Why not, right? But other than that, yeah. That's my review. If you have seen this film, let me know. Comment down below, give me your thoughts, opinions. If you have not seen this film, and I again, I'm gonna put it in my review, that this is a spoiler review. So if you do plan on seeing this film, also let me know. And with all that being said, I hope you have a great day. Have a great, wonderful holiday. I don't know if I'll have any more reviews coming before then, but I'll definitely have some more after the holidays. So, all that. Have a great day, and see ya faces next time. Bye.